I think the fact that it's so unique, it hasn't been done before, it hasn't been seen before. Cinematically, it's beautiful. The styling is stunning, and then the stunts are done in a way that only Chad, I think, really knows how to accomplish. And the attention to the detail in a film like this is just magical.
Yeah, and I think, you know, as what Ruby is saying also with, like, it hasn't been done, it's like, for us to see, like, this hero and this assassin that cares about his dog, and, you know, and he's getting revenge for his car in the first one, it's like, you kind of just relate to that as a human being, because all of us, people who have dogs, we love our dogs. People who, you know, I know a lot of people who care about their cars too, and go kill for that, you know. So, I mean, it's something human about him, but he still has a level of, like, assassinship that's just, like, out of this world. So you just kind of love that, and it has its own style to it. I felt like it was cool, but it didn't take itself too serious, the first John Wick, and I think that is definitely being, like, is being developed and evolved in John Wick Chapter 2.
What I loved about Aries is that she wasn't needing to use, and I have no problem with people doing this in films in general, but what I liked about her was that she wasn't using sex appeal to try and, like, woo the guy to distract him while killing him. You know, like, she's very pragmatic. She's wearing a suit. It's all very, like, tactical. She needs to be able to have her guns where she needs them, her knives where she needs them. She's not trying to sort of have the lipstick and kind of seduce somebody so that she can hopefully get him off guard. It's like she'll just go face to face and combat. It's sort of like, she's sort of a gender irrelevant kind of character. She could be played by a guy or a girl, but she kills it. She absolutely kills it.
Yeah, and for me, it was like, you know, to see somebody who was this type of warrior, but you know, as Cassian is, but still at the same token, he speaks Italian. You could tell he had an affection for Gianna, who he was watching, and, like, that was the person that he protected, and, you know, the affection that he shown for her, and even just the relationship that he has with John Wick. Is not, because people always ask me, are you the villain in the movie? And I'm like, no, I'm not the villain, even though I like playing villains. I'm not the villain. It's just, you know, I'm an assassin. And so I like the dimensions that we were able to have with Cassian, and really, like, all the assassins.
We worked really closely with the sequences, so whenever we were going to do a scene where we're having, you know, fights, we would just rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, and you know, it would be me and it would be Keanu, regardless if he'd done a 14-hour night shoot for the 7th day in a row. He's still there. It's not, you know, just me with the stunt person or me with the trainer. It was really him and I, so that because, you know, he was taller than the person that I was training with, and I was shorter than the person he'd trained with. Yeah. So he wanted to get it right, and so that it was right for both of us. And what it sort of taught me is that that collaboration that we had, and how that would translate into the film later. And also just, you know, to watch him and his work ethic is nothing short of, you know, inspirational, because he gives everything 100%, and he just doesn't, he's never tired. Yeah. You know, I'm sure he is, but he never displays any being tired or sore or, you know, any of those things. He's just so committed to the role.
Yeah, and you know, he didn't have to say anything, because his actions was everything. Like, his dedication and commitment, and even, you know, it wasn't like he strived for perfection, but when it wasn't perfect, you would see that come out too. Like, he was upset about it, like within himself, like with himself. And it was like, I kind of dug it, because it's like, man, I love that passion that he has, and he brings each and every day. And as Ruby said, it's just like, you know, this guy's just came from a 14-day, or he has a 14-hour work load, or maybe 16-hour workload with the way we was shooting. Like, but
and it's active. It's not like he's sitting in a chair. It's like he is running for 14 hours.
And he's still showing up at rehearsal, doing what he has to do and working hard. And even at that rehearsal, if we don't get it perfect, he wants to end off on a perfect note. And I love that about him. Well, when you train with 8711, you feel like you are, like, equipped to do almost anything, especially in films. But they definitely create a superhero in you, because it's like, you know, like, I'm a person that's like, I don't want to go on screen or go to a place and act, and, like, I want to learn from the basics. So they taught me from the beginning this new language of jiu-jitsu, what they call gung fu and knife fu. So all that training, like starting from the basics, and then when you start finally feeling like you know some of the basics, then you start getting into sequences. All that was just like, it just paid off. And from the conditioning, like when you first start doing little exercises, because you want to go in and you're like, I want to start fighting, but then they start just having you do footwork that I would do at the gym. But it's very helpful once you get into the scenes and you know your footwork is right. So I feel like in many ways they were really training us as people working in martial arts.
I had a lot of favorite scenes. Being in the catacombs and being in Rome was beautiful and amazing for so many reasons. It really made you feel like you were so immersed in this world. But I think Keanu and my sort of fight scene in the mirror room, it was one of the most epic scenes I've shot in maybe any film. And it made me laugh because I looked at Chad and I'm like, are you nuts? Like, why would you want to shoot in a floor-to-ceiling, you know, completely mirrored room with a camera? Like, you got to hide a camera and a crew in there as well. And the reasoning is that you really can't put a stunt person in. Like, it's going to be Keanu and I, because you're going to see everything from every angle. And he's like, I just want to do things that I think are impossible. And I loved that. And when we shot it, it was a lot of fun.
I mean, that's a great mantra right there. I want to do things that I think is impossible.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes I shot was it was like a fight scene that with John Wick and Cassie, and like I hit him with first I crashed into him in the streets, and then I have to hop over this car, and it was just fun, like jumping over the car, and then we get into a gunfight. Then the fight goes into another sequence of just us fighting in the cobblestone and like of Rome, and just I can remember like just looking up the streets of Rome like, wow, man, we doing all this fighting, and it just felt fun that we were in Rome and just getting to experience this. And it was the middle of the night and people were coming out from everywhere, and it was right around this place that I would always go in Rome. So I started learning my area, and it just was something special about it, and I felt like I was getting to be a part of something special.
Hey, Lisa here, so your movie lover? Well, in this day and age we see hundreds of movies a year in numerous genres like action, comedy, romance and more. Some of these movies are great and some just don't live up to our expectations. For all you movie lovers out there, here are some interesting facts from movies that you might or might not know. In the movie Carrie, the end of the movie was shot in reverse order, a technique of the film to make scenes look more ghost-like. A close viewing of the film will show cars moving in reverse. What do the 101 Dalmatians and Wendy from Peter Pan have in common? The 102 characters are the only characters in Disney's past to have both of their parents present and alive for the whole course of the movie. Gone with the Wind producers were fined $5,000 for allowing obscenities in the film's dialogue. The offensive and expensive word, damn. One of the films Will Smith is best known for almost didn't happen. The actor didn't want to participate in Men in Black until his wife persuaded him otherwise. In the film Monsters, Inc., Boo has a Woody doll. That's the famous cowboy from Toy Story. Gilderoy Lockhart from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets was based on a former boyfriend of writer J.K. Rowling. I Know Who Killed Me, starring Lindsay Lohan, has had the most Razzie Awards ever given to a film. Now, the Razzies are awards for the worst in movies. So, did you know any of these facts? Did you find them interesting? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.